There's always the card that Donald Trump can play. The US can and is, it seemingly, playing the card by saying there's no rush. They're going to fail economically. So we're going to sit back, let the pressure on the Islamic Republic build in terms of money. They haven't been able to export their oil for a while now. And when the situation in the ports of Iran look like this, if we go down here into the Strait of Hormuz, we have one of the most important ports in Iran. Right next to Bandar Abbas, we have the Rajai port, responsible for 90% of container shipping in Iran. Let's take a look at what it looks like as of today. Looks a little empty to me. Usually these are stacked pretty high up. And we are seeing that because of the blockade, well, not a lot of ships have been able to get through to deliver some of this cargo that the IRGC may be needing. And as a result, the port is a little bit of a ghost town at the moment. It's pretty empty to me. I don't know about you.
Well,
So they're not doing so good on the shipping part. They're also not doing so good on the Karg Island front. Karg Island has significantly lowered its production. I would say about 90%. And the oil flares that we were actually not able to pick up before because they were so faint, we were able to pick up with more advanced satellite imagery. They're tiny. They're tiny. Their operations have basically halted. The ships that used to be here in line to load up on oil, they're just not there anymore. Pressure's building. That's why they lowered their production, is because they're trying to keep as low physical pressure as possible on their systems while still keeping them operable, which means long game. Long game on the oil front for the Islamic Republic. On the negotiating front, back to war. They've been moving their troops to the south of Iran, anticipating a possible land invasion here, or even talking about invading Kuwait. At the same time, there's nothing they can do about the blockade. Absolutely nothing they can do. And that is the biggest hammer coming down on their heads. There's just nothing they can do about it. So, low risk, high reward for Donald Trump. Sit back, let the blockade keep doing its work, and watch the Islamic Republic deteriorate further and further. There's just one problem with that, Armin. There is just one problem with that. The United States is running out of oil. Our oil reserves are continuing to deteriorate. We cannot sit back forever. Since early April, we had 712 million barrels in inventory. We drew out over 160 million. We released another 100 million in March, then another 100 million in June, then another one, and now we're down to 305 million barrels. We had 712 million early April. We are now in early August. We have 305 million. That's a 407 million barrel decrease, putting us at the lowest we have had since 1983. We don't have forever. We got to get a move on at some point. Everyone has their own domestic issues to deal with. There's always a time clock somewhere. Um, and regarding that itself, the Pentagon has put in a new memo to Lockheed Martin, to all these defense companies, and they're telling them, hurry the F up. It is not acceptable. You guys actually have 21 days to come up with new plans to expedite Patriot missile interceptors production, the Tomahawks, everything. We want everything. You have 21 days. If you don't give us plans within 21 days, we're putting the pressure on you guys. There we go. I just find that a little bit funny, though, now that they're pressuring all these defense companies, the Pentagon is, because at the same time, They're actually about to sell 5,250 interceptors to the Persian Gulf Arab countries. They put in an order for
Mm.
5,200, and America approved that. Um, I don't know how we're going to produce the extra 5,000 for them, for the Arabs, and then also enough for our own needs because we just emptied our stocks from Europe and Asia as well to pull them into the Middle East for this upcoming war. Uh, hey, if
I
you
mean,
guys are
if you
engineers,
sell it, if you're selling it to the Persian Arab countries, aren't you defending your troops and getting paid for it anyways? Because your bases, your US bases are there. So instead of using this missile defenses yourself and counting it as an expense, you sell it to the Arabs and they have to use it to defend their territory, which your US bases happen to be in. So instead of it having it as an expense, you consider it a revenue.
you can, except it'll take some time for them to get those interceptors 5,000. It's going to, you know, it's going to take a bit. So that production is the bottleneck. And if we're trying to produce for ourselves at the same time, that's my that's my foreseeable problem that I see with the rate of production. But yeah, you're right. At the end, double purpose, two birds with one stone.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.